been trying to save, like, get back a corrupted video that I was never going to be able to get back. In fact, I used a recommendation to go to VLC thing, and rather than restoring my corrupted video, getting it back to me, it removed it from showing on my computer as 1,000 something milligrams. I mean, megabytes to 1 kilobyte or some ridiculous thing. So it actually fucked up the video if I had wanted to even get it. So I'll never do that again. Every time I've tried, or they say, well, there's different things you can do if you have a corrupted video. And I tried different things that were free, and it did not get me back my corrupted video. Okay, it didn't do it. It did not do it. They always say, oh, I have 99% effective, and it's all lies. So anyway, I learned, though, what I should never be doing. You never, ever, ever take a thing out of your camera, a camera memory card, unless your camera's completely off. And I might have accidentally done that. It's easy to forget and do it, and most of the time it's okay, but other times it's not. But I have spent hours before researching how to, they give you such high hopes. Oh, you're going to get your corrupted video back, or your corrupted picture, your corrupted image, your corrupted file back, and it never happens. I've tried all different things. Not paying. I'm not going to pay. I'd end up paying and not getting it back and being pissed. I'm not paying. So the fact is, it's a crapshoot. I don't even know if this video is going to record. Okay? None of my videos are that important. None of them are important at all, actually, if you want to be blunt. So, I mean, come on. How many are there now? 13,000. And I can say the same things I said last night. I can't say it with a thing of 100 milliliter Fireball drink in my hand, but, because I can still say the same damn things. I got my hair cut. Got my hair cut. I bought some more of those Snuggadoo socks that I like. I walked for miles, not as many miles as last time, which was at least, like I said, at least 7, and 99.9% sure, going and calculating it in my brain that it was more than 7. It might have been close to 10. But yesterday was not that much. Yesterday was about 3. That's all. About 3. My mom's been doing some church stuff that naturally, of course, includes eating, overeating. And even though she maintained her weight all this time here, now she's gaining a pound or 2. So she's learning. She's learning, yeah, you can keep your weight down on this Praxis. Notorious for putting weight on everyone who takes it. And it doesn't end. You can keep your weight down, not eating much, but the second you pig out, like you were doing in the hospital, you can gain a pound a day, Mom. And it's not necessarily real pounds. It's water weight. It's whatever. She goes to things like Bible studies or whatnot, and where they have food and snacks and whatever, okay? I bought some more Snuggadoo socks that I love. You've seen me in them from time to time in my videos. Because I step outside on the deck and stuff if I have to get him out fast. Speaking of which, I need to remember to pick up the poo-poo. I think he just went poo-poo right now. I didn't feed him immediately. I think he went poo-poo. I think he did. He went fast because I didn't even have him on the leash. I just had to bend over and hold him steady. Hold him because he can't squat anymore, but he can still. Hold on, baby. I'm gonna wipe my hands. What are you doing sideways? Come on, sit up. Sit up, love bug. Sit up. Sit up and be a good boy. Here. Eat. I know his teeth are probably maybe getting horrible from not having his dry food anymore. Nothing we can do, like I said. Omar's on his last, stretch of life. But then again, so is my mom. Speaking of which, we saw her primary care physician's assistant, nurse practitioner. She's very nice, very empathetic. This is some of the things I said last night. Very nice, very empathetic. Had to explain to her that, about, she didn't get it. She's like, well, if you're not happy with that proxy, you're the healthcare proxy. I'm not her guardian, number one. Number two, her psychiatrist doesn't care. And we were in the process of getting her someone new. And then she got sick. What are you going to do? Okay? Remember, she was sick for nearly 2 months, progressively getting sicker, before she ended up hospitalized for 6 weeks. So she wants to see her friend. Her friend's supposed to come down, I believe. Can't always go about what my mom says. Sometimes my mom, even when she's not sick, has wishful thinking, where I kid you not, and I'll believe her, because why wouldn't I? It's not, I don't know, unless I can find out. She'll think that her friend's coming to visit, only because she didn't confirm it with a friend, or rather, a friend doesn't even drive, didn't confirm it with the person who drives a friend. But I've had this happen repeatedly to me where, so you're doing this, that's cool, Mom, are you sure? Yeah, I left a voicemail. Thinking that, if she leaves a voicemail that she wants to do something or wants someone to take her to the store or whatever, that's equivalent. That equates to they're really going to do it. Meanwhile, she's never actually talked to them. You can imagine how frustrating that would get for me, because I believe her. So, I'm going out with my friend. Are you? Cool. Have fun. And then it's not she's going out with her friend, and she left a voicemail that she wants to go out with her friend who has a car. So, it certainly is, I don't know what the word is. As usual, weird shit going on with Inside Edition. An alligator in an ocean in Alabama. Alligators don't like salt, they don't like oceans, they like ponds. And it showed the picture, so you can tell that's not true. Anyway, because of all the different weird weather things happening with floods and this, that, whatever, alligators do occasionally end up in oceans. They don't like it, so can you imagine? Then, of course, we see the alligator, and I tell my mom about the story she missed on Inside Edition with the woman in Florida, I believe, who's lived there for decades, elder woman. Like, don't you know by now you don't walk your little tasty morsel of a little dog like an Omar down by the water's edge? Particularly at dusk and dawn when alligators are out. You really that stupid? Well, you paid for your life, with your life. Not only did she pay with her life, but as I told you guys at the time, because it's horrific, the alligator had her, and she's talking to her friend, her neighbor on the stream, and the neighbor's like, swim to me, I can't, the alligator has me. Which means she was still alive, but knowing she's going to die. Now, that's interesting. As most of us would rather not know. We'd rather, die in our sleep, or if you can't die in your sleep and you have to be murdered or something, have it be quick. Or if you have to die not in your sleep, have it be super quick. Okay? Not that an alligator has your leg and you know he's going to eat you, but you're still alive, able to talk to your neighbor. That's just bizarre to me. Just bizarre things get to me. Regular things like, this crimes of passion where people know that they're going to get caught and they kill their spouses or their family. They would kill them in an act of rage. We have no idea why this man who was estranged from his brother for, I guess, 17 years or something, decided to go and visit him, knocked on the door. They were cordial for a few minutes or whatever, and then he shot him. And then he went after his wife, so his sister-in-law, but she went in the hospital, but she's all right. But he killed his brother. And we don't know why. He got shot dead by the cops, so he's gone. But weird shit like that, or just people who, like, even him, he probably didn't care. We don't even know the story of why they didn't talk or anything like that. But I found out another thing on Inside Edition about that woman, 33 years old, who, Are You With Me, writes the grief book and this and whatever, being charged with her husband's murder. There's so much damning evidence. You wouldn't want me on a jury, her jury. Another thing that came up is, they have 3 kids, and she wanted to buy this. So she wanted to buy this $2 million house, and he didn't want to. Come on. Are you guys going to find her innocent the day after she finds him dead on the floor of unknown causes? It took the police a year to have enough evidence to charge her, okay? And I don't know why it took so long, but it did. And she bought the house and threw a party. Provably. Bought the house, threw a party one day after she finds her husband dead. They're also saying they think she's been having an affair the entire time they were married. And he, another telling thing, again, wouldn't want me on her jury. He told his family, I'm suspicious of her. If anything ever happens to me, she did it. So, all those things combined, she writes her little grief book, dedicates it to her dead husband, goes on talk shows, has a little picture of him with angel wings, and meanwhile, it's highly likely she murdered him with fentanyl. What's her housewife doing, getting 15 to 20 pills of fentanyl from her friend? And then they did autopsy and found out he had 5 times the amount of fentanyl in his body. So much damning evidence against her, I swear. It's almost like that Mushajan thing that I don't know how to pronounce, by proxy or whatever. That's usually with kids. But in this instance, she kills her husband. If she did it, allegedly gets all this sympathy, even has the intelligence to write a children's book that becomes a bestseller. Amazon, to their credit, has removed the book. Okay? But anyhow, her name is Corey. I said Carrie because it's like Kouri or something. I don't know. Fact is, 3 kids, looking like she killed her husband. Usually it's the opposite. Usually the men are doing it to their wives. But yeah, it's good for the goose, I suppose. She poisoned his something or other, they said, with the fentanyl. It's what they're allegedly, Laura, allegedly. And the other man in the news, his wife's dead, and they're saying he did the less detectable crap, but he poisoned her. He's being charged with killing his wife with her protein shake. And again, she was complaining to people before, I feel headaches when I drink, and it accumulates, and then you tell people. You don't want to suspect your spouse is trying to murder you, but you're like, it's really weird that he gives me or she gives me this drink, and I feel weird, but maybe it's in my head, or, they both ended up dead. They're both in the news, at least on Inside Edition. Another thing, I don't know if it was in Florida or where it was, but these people were in a pond. Yeah, I think it must be Florida, because there's 1.3 million alligators in Florida, and they're in a pond. I guess people aren't afraid. I don't know, but I wouldn't go in. My mom and I talked about it. I wouldn't go in the damn pond. Alligators, but anyway, they're on floats. They're on floats, right? In a pond, like you'd be in a pool, little kids and adults, everyone. They're on floats, and then the alligator's on his own. Then they filmed it. Right nearby, an alligator was just lounging on a log, floating around on his own makeshift float. And it said, like, he probably isn't any interested in making you guys dinner. He's more interested in mating at this time, but still. He was huge, long, and he was on his own float, a giant log. So he wasn't under the water. He was floating again on his own makeshift float. It's weird. God. So, almost done. Almost done, Buckleopolis. There we go, baby. Oops. Obviously, my mom's not home. I mean, I think that goes without saying. I'm sitting in the middle of the kitchen creating a video and talking loud. Mom's not home. Remember, my mother has a life. I don't. She's like, Joe talked to me for an hour. I think he's lonely, Laura. He wishes that we moved with him. Yeah, well, we didn't, and that ship has sailed. Mom, what are you tipping over for? Omar, come on, sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Come, sit up. Sit up, sweetie. Sit up. Wash his paws after he has this one. Left over from yesterday. So it has the leftover pumpkin, and I love those little things I got, the little one cup Pyrex things I got from Target. I learned no, their packers don't pack the Pacific Organic Bone Broth any better than does Vitacost. So let's stick with Vitacost. Especially since Vitacost now has the thing we have to send pictures and you prove it. You know, you send a picture of everything. If you have 20 things damaged, you send 20 pictures, and you know, then you know that no one's thinking that you're lying or whatever. And no, but good, huh? Is that good, Puck Dog? Is that good? Is that good? Huh? Good? Is that good? Yum, yum, yum. Is that good? Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, I love those Snuggadoodle socks. You guys have seen me in them. The little soft socks that have different pictures of pugs or box or different. They're soft socks. I bought 4 more pair. I bought different ones that I thought they were only around Christmas time, but I went in that store, I bet them, and they had them, and new welcome to my, this is the messiest one. It's not really messy when it doesn't have all the liquid, you know, when I do the regular one. So 1 time a day out of the 4, we have to have super messy. I get all messy. Towels get all messy. I used up all the towels in the house because I just had different things to do, and then I got behind in keeping this place clean. Sometimes if I have to go where I got my hair cut yesterday, that's an all-day thing. To take the buses, I have to walk. I also did shopping at different places. Mike wouldn't have to leave for that long though, because, you know, I tried to get him to go poo-poo ahead of time. I even postponed going and then walked part of the way instead. I just didn't. I was trying to get him to poo-poo and he didn't, so I didn't want to have poo-poo coming home to poo-poo. Pee-pee's okay. I want to come home to it, and I don't want him to not be able to have to be in it, you know. He's pretty good if he does go poop. He manages, even though he can't really get up very well, whatever, somehow he manages to cover it. Because remember, I have him on the mat or the blanket on the floor, but then I have all around covered, like to give him leverage so he doesn't fall to the edge and unable to, at least sit up, even if he can't get up fully. I think I started to say something and then didn't. He's not, keeping him healthy otherwise, but nothing is perfect, and I've never brushed his teeth, I used to get him periodically the expensive cleanings. He's on his final stretch. Anything minor happens to him, I'll find a way to pay for it. Anything major, I'll have to have him euthanized. It's just can't do it with the money. And again, Joe does have money. Joe will, no problem, lend me $700 when I thought I was going to have to euthanize Elmer a few months ago. Joe will lend me $700 to have Elmer euthanized in the home, which is a much more, nicer experience for the pet doesn't really know so much, but for the pet owner, and then it's just a nicer experience. It costs a lot of money. I did some research. I don't know if it costs money that much everywhere, but the one that I was going to choose, any of them, they're like $700 total for something to come to the house, and then a couple hundred more to remove the deceased pet's body. But it's much, they let you stay. They're very compassionate. They let you stay with after the animal's gone, they let you stay with the body for as long as you want. And for me, because I'm so emotional and so whatever, it'd be much better for me to do this in my own home than in a cold vet's office. I could faint. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And even if I didn't faint, I'm so emotional that someone might just think there's something seriously wrong with me and call the cops or something. You just never know. Plus, I want it to be an alone thing. If I went to the vet, since I had a friend, like the church woman, take me. I don't want to, I want to be alone. I would make sure my mom, I would make sure she was gone for the day. She cannot be here for that. And I would want to be alone. I wouldn't want to drive to the vets with Omar, knowing I'm putting him to sleep, and have someone sitting there comforting, this is what you have to do, whatever. And then drive home with that same person without him. I just don't want to do it. Do not want to do it. Talking if he wasn't experiencing some horrible agony where I can't wait to have him euthanized to put him out of his pain. I'm talking about just like him right now, that he's old and it's a big pain in the ass, and you know what I mean? But it's a labor of love, and I couldn't do it. Like I told my vet and whoever was there with her, I didn't even know that person or assistant. It wasn't the same one. I really liked it before, but I don't have any life. If I had a life, I wouldn't be able to do this that I do for him, okay? No, I don't want anyone driving me to the vets to put my dog to sleep. So Joe will lend me $700 to do that, but if anything's wrong with Omar at this age, Joe sure as fuck is not going to lend me the money to save him. Okay, he thinks it's time that I let Omar go, and so he wouldn't do that. But if it's a small thing, I can find a way, you know. Small thing, just like a few hundred or something. Baby. I guess he's more tired because he just woke up. Because the other night I'm giving him his food and you should see him. He's standing up. He's just not, he's standing up and I was up before him today. He was still sound asleep. Stand up. Stand up. You okay, huh? Is that good? Yum, yum, yum. Good boy. Good boy, sweetie. You could stand up. You could stand up. Yes, you can. I know you can. The other day, he wanted to just walk around. To prove him that he can still walk, he was walking around his pen, over in circles, just walking in circles. Stand up, baby. Stand up. I gotcha. Mama's gotcha. Tired? Are you tired, huh? Are you tired? Are you tired, sweet boy, huh? Says you should stay on your feet so you digest your food. You've been so good. Not one single bad poo-poo in months. Not a one. Not a one bad poo-poo. Even that time you regurgitated because I was giving you that other food. Oh yeah, I gotta remember about that. She said that food, I thought that if you keep it in those containers, she's like, no, it could go rancid, but you can put it in your freezer. No, not even money in your freezer. $70 worth of food that I stopped giving them. Didn't agree with them, but I'm gonna do a test sometime when I'm gonna be home, obviously, and see if he's okay just having a few at a time as a little topper of that expensive origin food. Top rated by Whole Doctor. My Blue Wilderness isn't top rated, but that's the way it goes. I need to go back to that. This one's not high enough fat content, and we want to fatten up the pug a little bit more. Just a little bit more. We want to fatten up the pug. At least at maybe 14 pounds. You're not getting fattened up on this low-fat food for seniors, because so many seniors are heavy, overweight. You are the opposite. Is that good, huh?